Holy Spirit, come. Holy Spirit, dwell here.
I like to go because it was my community, you know, it's people that cared about me, and I could tell that they cared about me. This is like from age 10 on.
Okay.
Yeah, from age 10 on. But yeah, go a little back into the future there when I was buzzing on nicotine. I got so ill off of it all of a sudden. And
Did you swallow?
Probably. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm like, dude, you got to pull over.
Oh, God.
And I put my head out the door and vomit. Story gets better, I promise. And then, you know, I'm like, okay, man, I just need to go home. I don't feel well. So he takes me home and kind of stumble out of the car. And for some reason in my mind, it was probably the Holy Spirit saying, you need to take a shower to feel better. So I said, okay. So I'm in the shower, water coming down on me.
Oh, okay.
And all of a sudden I just feel like I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't even like a Lord fill me with the Holy Spirit moment. It was just like I just started praying, you know.
So you're feeling guilty, or like you need to be washed.
Yeah.
Because of just because of this tobacco.
Yeah, I'm feeling guilty. I'm being sick. I didn't like being sick.
Yeah. It is nice when stupid behavior or sin.
Right.
I'm not trying to characterize you, but when you do something wrong, it's nice when you have an immediate negative impact.
Yeah.
Because then there's no pretending that, hey, this is really okay.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. And I just started praying like, Lord, forgive me, help me feel better. I don't remember a lot of what the prayers were, but I just started, as I was praying, I started just speaking in tongues. I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna go with it.
And that was the first time?
That was the first time.
And you're 18-ish?
About 18. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess serious about my faith a year before.
Okay.
Very comforted by the Holy Spirit, actually.
Okay. Even leading up to that point.
Yeah, about a year before that.
It's like you're heading in a certain path, and then you take a little minor detour, and then.
Yeah, my life is a series of minor detours, you know.
Well, let's read the passage.
Yeah.
And then I want to get back to. I want to talk about how that experience has been helpful for you, or how it's grown into other things.
Yeah.
All right. So we're on Acts chapter 2, and I even love the heading. The Holy Spirit comes.
Yeah.
At Pentecost. Okay, when the day of Pentecost came, they were all together in one place. Suddenly, a sound like the blowing of a violent wind came from heaven and filled the whole house where they were sitting. They saw what seemed to be tongues of fire that separated and came to rest on each of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit enabled them. Now they were staying in Jerusalem, God-fearing Jews from every nation under heaven. When they heard this sound, a crowd came together in bewilderment because each one heard their own language being spoken. Utterly amazed, they asked, aren't all these who are speaking Galileans? How then is it that each of us hears them in our own native language? And then the next couple verses, it rattles off some of the different countries that they were from, all over the place. Last one being Arabs, which I think is kind of cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. We hear them declaring the wonders of God in our own tongues. Amazed and perplexed, they asked one another, what does this mean? Typical of every God experience. Some of them, however, made fun of them and said they've chewed too much. They've drinking too much wine.
Right.
So let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
So that's like the pivotal Holy Spirit moment in history when people start interesting reaction, something loud noise, wind, something that seems to be tongues of flame, coming into them, fire.
Right.
Just no water here on this one, unless
not.
it's the sounding of a roaring waterfall.
Right.
That accompanies the wind. So the initial thing that happens is they get this other language, and they're reaching people of other languages.
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about how the Day of Pentecost is sort of a reversal of Genesis. I think it's chapter 10,
Okay.
and we are getting in Genesis in a couple weeks here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Of the Tower of Babel, where humanity goes from one language to a myriad of languages.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we have that barrier unbroken up to that point, coming down.
Yeah.
And they're speaking in tongues and everyone's blown away, but some people are making fun of them.
And they're drunk on wine.
Yeah, like they're drunk. And,
Yep.
and we didn't read it, but Peter's response is, we're not drunk. It's only 9 a.m.
Right. Yeah.
So,
which
at least they had some standards on when to start getting drunk.
Right.
You know?
A hair of the dog.
Yeah, I always get that wrong. Yeah, I'm not a true drinker.
That's good.
Like others.
That's good.
Although you've been sober now for a while.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, not to take away from our main story here. So, all right. So you're speaking in tongues in the shower, and you know what it is.
Yeah.
Because you grew up hearing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is that hitting you? Are you thinking, oh, how weird I'm becoming, like all the adults in our home church type of thing?
You know, I think my feeling, I did it till the shower got cold, till I used up all the hot water.
So you're taking a longer shower.
Yeah, just speaking in tongues. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I think I was just so comforted by the Holy Spirit, and it was so real to me that I wasn't even thinking about all that, like all the skepticism that I had about it, and the boredom. I was just
because it was happening to you, and it was it just sound coming out of your mouth, or did it feel like a whole spirit, soul, body type of experience?
spirit, soul, body for sure.
So it was affecting all of you.
Yeah, it felt like a cleansing. It felt like, the water was probably like taking the tobacco or the nicotine out of my skin, I would think. It just felt like a cleansing and just a comfort from the Holy Spirit.
Fill this church with joy overflowing.